Hello folks, KW here with Artisan of Glimmith. I am finishing up these earlier areas of the game. It's actually kind of a mid area of the game, I'd say. This size separation window could stand to have some jewels on it. So let's finish this area off. So I see, let me just real quick do this. So this feels bad. Like the game gives you the ability to see where the puzzles are, right? So why are they hidden then if you can just do that? I'm not sure. Whatever, not a problem. I'm going to save this guy for last. The 7 is last. This 6 will be second to last, I guess. I got 6s. Do I have anything that's lower than 5 that I need to take care of? Can I reach this one here? There's 5s. So these are there's one in here. That's a 3. Let's get the 3 done first. Size separation is a fun rule. Just means that if the regions are touching, they are different sizes. So these can't move up into each other's space. That's got to be there. They also can't move into that space. This is going to be interesting. Well, these have to be part of the same unit. There's just no way they're not. So there's quite a few ways to do this. There's no guaranteed spaces yet. These can't move. I definitely can't. I can do that. Yeah, it's fine. Well, hold on. This is a gimme. That's a gimme. There we go. Don't know what this one's going to be necessarily. We got a couple options. We have that option. We have that option. One of these is going to move this direction. Right? Well, hold on. Can I? Yeah. I can always go into here. It's fine. Huh. Let's think about... Yeah, if I actually can't do this. I can't have either of those pieces go in. Here's why. If I move this piece in, what happens to our good old eye-shaped friend here? Uh-oh. We either have a domino here, or we have 2 singles. Same thing happens over here. A domino or 2 singles. Therefore, neither of those pieces can go there. We have this thing happening. So this piece now has to move that way. And this piece comes in, we have a single there. So the only thing left is that. That's the trick. That's what you got to find. That's nice. This piece will never touch here. So it's either that or that. Yeah, so it's going to touch these. That's got to be single. Now we can do this. This would be fine. This would also be fine. Hold on. I gotta break this puzzle. Size separation, not mingle shape. I gotta remember, these rules are very similar. This can't go down, that's the size separation problem. There you go. So this does have to move down. And now we have a 3 here, there's nothing else we can do, and then we have a single. Amazing. So I should have 6 left, there are 6 left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All these are at least 5s. Great. We've done it. Let's hit the 5s. Oh dear. 11s and 9s. How many spaces? We got 40 spaces. Well, we add these spaces, these numbers up. 11 and 9. 22 plus 18 is 40. We do have 4 regions. There is... I was thinking maybe the 11s are connected, the 9s are connected, and I can do what I want with the rest. The answer to that is no, because these 11s are going to touch the squares. They no longer are part of the same region. That's not going to happen. So, 9, 9. I got to fill in without the 9s touching and the 11s touching. That is going to be the challenge. Amazing. So this square is going to be, well, it's got to be one of these 2. Which one is going to be better? This circle, which is going to be... Well, can this guy ever reach that circle? Yes, but then what do I do there? I think it's going to be this one. I think it just has to be. All right. What's the trick? What's the trick? Well, I could also say if I take this, this doesn't really seem to be a problem immediately. If I did this, it doesn't seem to be. Like, it feels like cutting off the central piece would be a great sort of start, right? See what I'm doing? If I do this, I need to take 2 spaces up here and then the rest. This can't be it though. Like, see. Yeah, this can't be it because I can't cut it off because I need to get a... So I can't block it that way. I I can't block it this way. So yeah, I was thinking I could just block them off, but I can't. Is there any way the 9 can block like this sort of thing? It can do this sort of thing, but this is not going to be filled. Not unless I do it like this. This would fill it, right? Nope, still not filled. This, excuse me, this would fill it. So something like this is fine, but then how do I get these? Now that is just talking about filling the space. It's not even talking about the rose windows because I haven't touched a square here. So that's not going to work. But I do need to cut things off. These can't touch each other. So one of these two does have to get into that space, right? So we think about what's going to touch this corner. Or in this wall. Somewhere on this wall. One of these three. Or this space. Sorry, one of these four has to be one of these pieces. Now, if it is the cyan piece here, there is no way to do it, right? There's no way. Right? This is not filled in either way. Like, Is this just it? No. Right, because they can't touch each other. So what I have to do now is that. We got to fill this in. This very much feels like the type of puzzle where you just kind of do it that way. Right? It feels like guessing. I know the game tells you don't have to guess anywhere. I honestly wish the game hadn't told me that. The game hadn't said you can solve every puzzle logically without guessing, because it means if I do solve a puzzle with guessing, now I just feel stupid because I was told I didn't have to do that. But that felt, even though I'm sure there was logic behind my decisions, it felt like I guessed my way into it, right? Just as a game designer, I'm not saying this as me as a game designer. If you are a game designer, do not directly tell your players how they should feel about your game. Just never do that. Don't tell your players this is how, you don't have to guess. Let your players assume they do have to guess, because then if they end up guessing, they don't feel like stupid idiots. They feel like they did it right. You know what I mean? It seems counterintuitive, but just don't tell your players this is how hard my puzzle is. Just let them figure that out for themselves. Whatever. Just those have to be together. 4s, that's got to be together. Hold on, we got another 3 here. Missed that. 5s. All right, this 5's got to escape this direction. What's this range rule doing? That's the first thing I notice. And I'm saying this not in condemnation here. What's it doing? Because I already see everything as a 3 to a 5. I guess this means I cannot leave orphan spaces. Hold on, that's just filled in. I can't leave orphan spaces smaller than 3. That's what it's telling me. I can have spaces that aren't connected to these area numbers, but if I do that, they have to be at least 3. And they can't be more than 5. But if I have an orphan area with 6 cells in it, I just make 2 3s. It's not a big deal. No, I don't, because size separation. So I can't do that either. So what do I do here? These 5, this is potentially not connected to each other. This 3 can't move over. This 3 can't move over. This 3 can't move over. That's done. This... Can I move this in? Yeah, it looks like I can move that in. I can move this out. Can I... If I were to assume that this were to happen here, right? That would force me to fill all of these in up here, which is fine. This actually... Okay, this is... Yeah, I see. Okay. Yeah, there you go. That's where it broke. It broke way before I got up here. It broke down here. If I were to put walls here, right? If I were to go this way, the 3's got to move down. Now this one can't move over, it has to move up, which it can't do. I should already have seen this. That's a problem. So this has to move in. This is in fact how it goes. This 3 now has to move up. This 5 now does connect to that 5. We can go either direction on this one. So this space... Okay, this space has to connect to this 4, and here's why. It can't be a 3. Size separation says, no way, honey. If it's a 4 and it's not connected to this 4, it's going to touch. And if it's a 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it's going to touch both of those and also block the 4. Therefore, the 4 goes down here. So then this piece if it is not the 4, it has to be a 3. It would have to be a new piece. But yeah, it would block that in. So this piece does have to belong to the 4. Right? So just in case that went by too quickly. If this is not part of this unit, right? Well, the 4's got to go somewhere. So like we're just in trouble. So this is the 4. This piece now can't be, this has to belong to something. It's got to belong to 5. That's that. Okay, now what? This is bad because it creates, this is where the range rule comes in. We can't have an orphan cell in there, so we do have to make this a straight line. Can't have an orphan cell. This piece can't be a 3. If it's a 4, it has to connect here. If it's a 5, we're in trouble. Where's it going to go? Therefore, the 4 goes down into this space. It could go here. This could be a 5 connecting to those. We don't know. This is fine. This is fine. Is there any way I put a wall there? No. If I put a wall here, we have to go out this way, and now we can't go up. We have to go this way, and now we're touching 2 other 5s. We're going to break the size separation rule with one of them. So we do have to move this over and connect like so. Now, I think, yeah, we can't have a wall here. The reason we can't have a wall here is now we have 3 spaces in here. If the 4 takes any of them, we have something smaller than a 3. So we'd have to have a 3 touching a 3. That's not going to work. So this 3 has to move in, which means now I have to take both of these spaces with the 3 and the 4. I only have 1 space available on each piece to take. They have to be like this. This has to be a 4 because, no, this can be part of the 5. This can go up. It's fine. This piece here is touching 3, 4, and 5. So the 5 has to come down into the space to avoid a new piece. This one could just be a new 3. That's fine. In fact, this piece can't go here now. Oopsie daisy. That's got to be like so. We could do this. Oh, let me think about it. This piece here is either part of this 5, or it is a brand new piece, which has to be a 4 to make size separation, which means that this piece is a 4 right here. Now, if this piece is a 5, this piece is either a 3 or a 4. If it's a 3, it can be a 3. It can connect here. Or it can be a 4 coming around. It can't be a 4 coming around this way, so it would have to be a 3. I didn't get anywhere with that. Actually, if I do this, this 5 no longer has anywhere to go. Ba-doom. Therefore, that is part of the 5. Probably should have got that a little bit easier than the way I did it. Whatever. Logic is hard. This can't be a new shape that isn't part of a number that exists, because it would have to be a 4, right? Because if it's a 5 and it doesn't belong to this 5, what do you do? If it's a 4, what do we do here? Therefore, 5 goes into that space. And we could do it this way, or we could do it that way. I'm not entirely sure which way is going to work. Now, this space can't be a 5. It's not going to fit anywhere, right? It's going to put a problem. If the 4 doesn't go into there, now what is it? Because it can't be a 5, and it can't touch a 4 or a 3. So therefore, we have this, and this is how you got to go to make sure you don't touch 3s together. That's a good puzzle. I liked that puzzle. Let's jump into 6s now. I tend to like them when they get harder. Not always. 5s are pretty hit or miss. 6s and 7s, though, are quite consistently good. Maximum of 3. That's going to make things quite tricky here. The 1s are done. 3. So, this space here has to be a 3. Here's why. It can't be a 1. Can't be a 2, because it's going to touch this without being the 2. And then it can't be larger than a 3. So this 3 is complete. Now this 2 could move down. This 2 can't move up, because then what are we going to do here? This 2 can't move up, because then what are you going to do here? No, you can go that way. It's fine. This one can't move over. This one can. Wish I could have a slightly easier time there. What's this piece? This piece can't be 2, because then we have a problem up here. This could be a 1. Could it be a 3? If it's a 3, we have a lot of options, though, if it's a 3. If it's a 1, that's fine as well. Huh. I could put a 1 there. How about this space? This space right here. Whatever this space is, it could be a 2. No, is it always going to move down this way? Nah, if it's a 2, it's got to move in here. Because if it moves like this, then this space is touching 1, 2, and 3. It's not going to work. If this space is a 3, though, it would have to move down all the way here. This would break the puzzle. Here's why. 2 has to go there because it's touching 1 and 3, and now it's touching that. Therefore, that is 2. So now this has to be 3 because it's touching 1 and 2, and it has to bend because it can't this be touching that inappropriately. Now this has to move over. We have a domino. The fact that so far this is working suggests to me that my logic is correct. We can't move that to the right. It must move one of these two directions, meaning we can't move this one up. Let's see. This space is possible, or it's a 1. If I put a 1 here, we'd force the domino down. If I put a 3 here, we could still have a 1 there. Trying to find a spot I can... Oh, hold on. 1 and 3 are at a corner here. This has to be a 2, and it can't move to the left, so it's got to move this way. That's got to move that way. So now this piece can't be a 3 or a 2. It's got to be a 1. It means now we're touching 1 and 3. This has to be a 2. This has to be a 3 because it's touching 1 and 2. And if I do this here... No, I see. I can't bring it out this way. So I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. I just can't do that. Huh. That doesn't help me. So I just know that's a 3. That's what I do know in my heart. This is also a 3 because it's touching 1 and 2. This is possible. If I did this, I think I can break the puzzle. I think I break the puzzle if I do this. No, there is one way out of this, I see. Not this way, because it's going to cause a problem here. No, it doesn't. This 1 and 2 can go in there. No, this way is fine. This way, this way, this way is fine. Oh, hold on. That doesn't work. I thought I broke it. I wish I broke the puzzle. If I bring this up, I have to put a 3 here, and then that's interesting. That's an interesting thing to do. If I move this over, move this... Oh, I see. Hold on. This has to go one of these two directions, meaning this can't move up. Okay. How about this spot? This could be a 1 or a 2. If this is a 2... Okay. If this is a 2, we'd have to move it up. We'd have to move that over. We'd have to do this. We would end up in this position, which is a bit fraught. I don't think this works for a number of reasons. Because how are we going to fill these spaces in here? This one could be filled with 1s and 3s, but this one can't be filled with 1s and 3s. How do you fill this space, right? Filling this space, I'd have to put a 1 or a 3 here. If I put a 3 here, now this spot is broken because I can't put a 1 or a 2. I can't put a 3 in this spot, right? So this would have to be a 3, and now what I do with this is either a 2 or 2 1s. So I can't do that. This can't be a 2. This has to be a 1. So we do this here, meaning this could be a 2. No, it can't, because then it's always going to break. So this has to be 3. And I don't know which direction this 3 goes, but it has to be 1. That's what I do now. This right here is either attached to this 2, or it is a 3. And it makes that. If I bring this down, I'm trying to know what is going in this spot. This could be a 1. Putting this as a 1 is rather constricting, I think. If I make this a 1, now this has to move up and out like this. So we now have this issue. And down this spot, we have to make this. We would have to make this a... Oh, this actually works. This just works. No, so that can be constricting. If I made this not a 1, this would be a 3. So I could have it like this. No, I can't. Hold on. If this is a 3, they could connect here. This wouldn't be able to move down. If I did this, we'd have a 1 there. We'd have 1s. We'd do this. And now we'd be broken here. We wouldn't move that over. We'd have to move it up. And we have 1s. We can't make 1s or 2s. So, no. If I put a 3 up here, they would have to move this way. I'm trying to break the puzzle. I'm trying to break it in such a way that I know for sure what I'm going to do. I can't connect these. Therefore, if I put a 3 up here, this would be required. And this would be broken here. I can't put a 3 here or a 2. I have to put a 1, meaning this has to be 1s and 2s, and that's all. So, I think from that we determine this is in fact a 1. So that is correct. We have to bring this up. We have to bring this over. Means this has to move over. This has to move over. This has to move up. And now, in this space, we just have to put a 3, and a 1. So now 3 goes here, 3 goes there, and we're done. That was a delicious puzzle. All right. How about now? Oh my god. Okay. Okay, let's start with this. Let's start here. That's all I know for sure. So in this space, we're going to have a 1 and a 3. 1 plus 3 is in here. That's what's in this spot here. In this spot, oh, let's start with this one. This one's going to be 1 plus 3 as well. This here can be, oh, this one has a lot more options. Let's look for the ones that are a little bit more restricted. This could be 1 and 4, 2 and 3. It's a lot. This is a 1 plus 3 as well. I'm going to try to find those. This would be anywhere 1 to 4. The 1 to 3 is important because like that means these two spaces are part of the 3. Because we either have this or we have this. Either way, these two pieces are connected and they make 3. That's important. These two pieces are connected and they make 3. The reason this is important now is I can't make this the 3 because it will touch this one. Therefore, this is the 3. This is a 1. Now I can't do this because now 2 1s will touch each other. So this is the start of this puzzle. This is the break-in. That felt a little bit simple for a 6, but maybe I'm just that smart. So now this spot here can't be a 3. So this is a 1 or a 2 in this spot here. Because it can't be larger than 3 because it would touch 2 circles. So 1 or 2 means that this space has to move that way at least once. And we're going to mark that with this little thing there. And I can't put a wall here. I can't put a wall here. The reason I can't put a wall here is if I then put a wall here, I have 2 1s or a 2. If I do this, I have a 3. So I can't put a wall there. I have to move it this way. And then I have to at least move it here or there. We don't know for sure. But this has to be at least 4. Now this piece here, I can't put a wall there. Reason is, obviously everything has to touch a rose window, meaning that all 3 of these has to be taken and we have a problem. So this does have to move up. We have at least 4. We can still have a 5. This piece has to be bigger than a 1, so it's a 2. That one's done. So now I don't know for sure what is here, because I could do this, or I could do that. So now, here, let's say, I'm going to do numbers. I'm using colors to help me out, but you know what? What if you're colorblind playing this game? Many people are. I think I checked a discussion thing, whatever, that's still 1 or 2. 1 or 2, 1, 2. 4 or 5. Some people talking about having a colorblind mode, stuff like that. I'm sympathetic to that, but the colors aren't really that important. You can solve it pretty well without having to do this level of color thing. That's just unfortunate bit. If you have a game that relies on color at all, you're just gonna have to deal with that. There's no getting out of that. Okay, this piece here, right here, we have 1 or 3. Reason we have 1 or 3 is we can't have a 2, because that's going to be a problem there. Which means I can't have a wall here. These two pieces belong together. So either the wall is there, or the wall is there. These two belong together, though. This piece could go as high as 5, or as low as 1. Doggone it, there's a lot we can do with this piece. In here, this one can be anywhere from 1 to 4. This one can be anywhere from 1 to 5. 1 to 5. This is 1 to 3. Oh, I should look at this. This is 1 to 3. This is more restricted. 1 to 3. Anywhere in that space. And it has to be 1 or 2. It's just hard to read over this thing. That's a 1 or a 2. So it could just be that, or it could be these two, or it could be those two. This goes oh, hold on. This is interesting. This piece has to be a 1. Here's why. If it's a 2, it's touching that. If it's a 3, it's going to extend this far. And it can't be bigger than a 3. This has to be 1. This has to be that, which means this right here has to be a 3. Like so. That puts this space. Now this piece has to be 1 or 2. Because the biggest it can be is 3, and that would cause a clash here. So 1 or 2 on this one. Meaning this piece has to extend that way. Somehow, this piece has to go over here. This means this piece can't be a 3. So like if this is a 2 and this is a 3, we're in trouble because the 3, it's already touching the 3. So 1 or 2, this piece has to move over. So it's a 2 or a 4. Right? It can't be a 1, we know that, because then this piece would be a 3. It can't be a 3 because it's touching a 3. So this has to be a 2 or a 4. If it's a 4, this now has to be the 5, but it's possible. I can still make that a 4. If it's a 4, it also means this can't be a 4. That doesn't really... This now, anywhere from 1 to 4, but it can't be a 3. This is 1, 2, 4. Those are my options here. This now is 1, 2, 3, or it can't be 3 because I'll touch that. So this is also 1, 2, or 4. This piece could be a 3. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. This is all of them. Dang it. This is 1, 2. Okay, there's too much. This piece now, oh, this is at least 3. Ooh, hold on. I should have looked here. What goes here? We have to have a piece here. And it has to touch a rose window. So it has to be at least 3, but it can't be 3 because it's going to be touching the 3. So this actually has to be 4, like this. And it can't go any further. This can still be a 2 or a 1. We don't know. We got 4 down here, which means now this is not a 4. This is 1, 2, or 3. This could still be a 4. We don't know. This can't be a 4, so this is 1, 2, or 3. Can't be larger than that because it would touch 2. You can't have a 5. This all makes sense? Yeah, I hope this all makes sense. This is a good one. I really like this puzzle so far. Like, I like the ability to have something to work with. Like, it's just not fun to look at a puzzle and not know what to do at all. Unless it's in the case of there must be some brilliant trick I need to discover that I don't see. That's one thing. But if it's just, I have to figure out a break-in out of 700 possibilities, that's really, really uninteresting. This one, however, has I can look at places and make deductions. That is what's important to me as a puzzle. And this one really hits it. There's lots of places to look, too. It's not like there's one exact spot that's always obvious. This piece is 1 or 2. I should have known from the beginning. I see. Hold on. So these two are opposites to each other, potentially. Oh, no, they could both be 1s. They could both be 1s, but they can't both be 2s because they're going to touch each other. So we could have 2 1s, or we could have a 2 and a 1, or a 1 and a 2. We can do whatever we like with that. This one can be anywhere from 1 to 5 as far as I'm concerned, except it can't be 4. Oh, hold on. If this is a 1, this has to be at least 4, so it would have to be a 5, and then we'd have 2 1s. If this is a 2, this here would have to be at least 3, but then it couldn't be a 4, so it would be a 3. Oh, this doesn't break anything. If this is a 3, we would have to have this be a 2, because it couldn't be another 3. And if this is 4, we break that. Oh, darn it. Thought I had something. Didn't have anything. If this is 3, we have to make that 2. 1 and 4. Ah, we can't have 4. This can't be 4. Haha. Ah, that means... Oh, okay. We actually got... I should have seen this. I should have seen this. This is so good. This is so good. Okay. This can only be 1 or 2, meaning this piece has to be at least 3, but it can't be larger than 3, because then it'll be touching that piece. So we have to have a 3 and a 2. That's what we have to have there. That. Which means this is no longer a 2, it's a 1 or a 4. Which means this is also a 1 or a 4, because it's either going to be 4 and 1, or 4 and 1. I don't know which direction we're going to go quite yet. Putting a 1 here would force this one to be complete. Putting a 4 here wouldn't really force anything. Hold on a second. This can only be 2 or 4. This can't be a 1, right? Let's write this. Let's go back to this. This can't be a 1. If this was a 1, this would have to be 3, and we'd be stuck. Therefore, this is 2 or 4. It can't be 3, because this is connected to one of these 2, and therefore is 3. 2 or 4. If this is 2, what is this? If this is 2, this has to take both those spots and be a 2. So this is a 4. Like so. That means this is a 5. Like so. And we have a 1. Let's take those out. So we have a 5. We have a 1. 1. That's how you draw it. That's perfect. There we go. 4. We have a 1 here. We don't care about that so much. That means here we have to have a 1 and a 4. Ta-da! That's a puzzle. That's good. That's how you make puzzles. So, this 3 now has to move up. That has to be the 1. So there you go. 3, 1. So over here has got to be 2, 3, or 4. 2 or 3. Can't be 4. It's touching a 4. This here... Oops. Let's think about it. This can't be 1s. This is at least 2. This 1, 2, or 3. Can't be the 4. 4 is the biggest it can be, and it would be that. So it's 1, 2, or 3. This has to be at least 2. It's 2 or 3. It can't be 4. This is 1 or 2. This can't be a 2 then, right? No, it can be a 2. You'd have to go that way if it was a 2. This piece, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can't be a 5 because then this would be a 1. So this is 1, 2, 3, or 4. We're getting somewhere now. This piece, I think, is still pretty unrestricted. This one can't be 1, so it's 2. A 3 would be problematic, but not impossible. 1, 2, 3, 4. Could it be 5? No, because it wouldn't touch this one. I think this is our only 5 here. Is there a wall here? If there's a wall here, then we have 4. So no. No to that. The wall, there is no wall here. These are connected. So I don't know if this is a 2 or not. If this is a 2, these are both... this can't be a 2. Then these are both 1s, which is bad. Bad and wrong, evil. This can't be a 2. This has to be at least 3. If this is a 3, it can't move up. But if it's a 4, it can totally move up because 4s can touch 3s all day. If this is a 3, though, it goes here, and that makes that a 2. Or, yeah, it makes it a 2 because it can't be 2 1s. Actually, if this is a 1, this would be a 2, and then this would be a 3. So this is not a 1 down here. This is at least a 2. So we got to go this way. And so now it's a matter of who takes that corner. This is at least 2. This is at least 2. So these are just different. One's a 2, one's a 3. That would make it interesting if this was a 3. Hold on, this can't be a 3. This can't be a 3. Because then what the hell do I do here? This can't be a 2, because then we have 2 1s there. And then it can't extend that direction. So this, in fact, is just a 2. This is either 3 or 4. We still don't know, but it's going to take that spot. This now has to be a 3. It can't be larger, because now what do we do with this section here? And also 4 is touching there. So that's done. Fantastic puzzle on this one. How long have I been doing this puzzle? I don't think it's as long. I don't think it's that long. I think I've been going pretty quick through this one. So we can't have a 3 here. That means this can't be a 3. Oops. This could be a 2. This can't be a 3 because if it is a 3, it will inevitably touch one of these two or both. It can't be a 4 because it's just not going to fit. This can't be a 2. If this is a 2, right? Because this piece can't move over. This has to move in. Wait, hold on, no. Hold on, I've done something wrong. I've done something wrong with this. Okay, something's off in here. This piece, if it's a 1, this can't be a 3. This would have to be a 4. This can't be a 1. But if it's a 2, right, we can't have a wall. Can't have a wall here because then that's that. But if we have... This could be a 2. Hold on. No, this can't be 2. We worked out this can't be a 2. Because then that makes that a 3 unless I make it smaller, in which case it's a 2. So 2 2s next to each other. We can't do that. So if this is a 3, let's move this over. And now this... Trouble is, what is this? That's 2 1s. So I have to make that a 3, and that's a problem. So this could be a 2... And this could be a 3? No, this would have to be 4. Like so. That would be how we'd have to do this. Hold on, that might be better. Let me look at it this way. Now, if this is a 4, we can have a 3 here. What would we have here? No, we'd have a 1 here. We can now have a 1 there. I just didn't see that this could be a 1. Dumbass. Let's try again. Okay, so if this is a 1, this can be... Oh, what's this then? This, we have to take both of these, that's a 4, and if we take more, it's a 5. No, this would have to be 3. But then what is this? Is there anything else I can do in this section? If I make this a 2, for instance... I think I can do this, actually. Hold on. 2. Make this a 3. Make that a 2. This now is a 1 or a 4. Can't be a 4, so it's a 1, and then this is a 4. I think this is it. I don't know what I was doing to not see that. Then this is a 1. This is a 2. And now over here, we can't have a 4. We can have a 5, and that's the only way I think we can make this work. Is that right? Oh, that was so good. That's what I want to see in puzzles. Do you have 2 left? So it's the 2 big ones. Let's see how long they take. Range 3 to 5. All right, where do we start with this bad boy? We've got an eye-shaped pentomino. Got a lot of pentominoes in here. These are all pentominoes. Right? Might have to change the color. I'm just putting in colors I normally use for these shapes. Let's change that. We'll see. So, can I work out what any of these are immediately? I don't see that. Oh, size separation. Gotta remember that. So that means I can't have this move over like that. I can't have these touch each other. Right, so I can't bring this up this direction. This is one way I can do it. I can do that. That doesn't help me too much. How do I make this guy work? Right? So if I were to say that's a wall. Now the trouble is, the only ways I can do this, that touches 5s. Pentominoes can't touch. Or that, and it touches that one. Or that, and it touches that one. So I think the wall has to be there, which means this touches that. So I think this is the shape of the pentomino. Now this can't go into there. Is there any way it's not this shape? Right? So I know I can't put the wall here. I just can't see a way to organize this any differently. Yeah, it always touches. So that's that. This is bad. Like, I have to bring this down, bring that over. Yeah, it's this way. That means this can't move over now, so it is this way. Do we feel confident with that, fellas? Might be it. This isn't an up and down shape, right? Because it's going to touch this or that one. So I think we have to bring it out this way, right? Like, let's imagine there's a wall here. I now need to go 4 straight up and down without touching either of these 2. Or one of these. So I could put a wall there. I just know that I can't be straight up and down. So it's either this or that. It actually doesn't give me any particular cells. I'm pretty sure this breaks it though, because now how do I make this work? Because I can't move up. I can move down as long as I do, but like, if I move down, I then have to move sideways or down, which isn't going to work. So I'd have to go over. So I think we can rule that. I think we can rule out, and we have to go this way. Now, this can't ever move down. This cross can't be the left part of the cross, right? So we can't put a wall here, maybe? We just can't go this way. No, we could if it's this. Is it the top edge of the cross? No. It could be, it can't be the right edge, can't be the bottom. So this is the center of the cross. That's the only way we can do it, right? Because I'm thinking about this space right here in the cross shape. Which part of the cross is it? If it's the top of the cross, we go down there. If it's the right side of the cross, we go there. If it's the left, we go there. If it's the bottom, we go off the edge of the map. So we are in fact centered, so we can't take any of this. This is the S shape. So now this piece can move up here, down there, or down there. This actually creates an orphan cell, so no. There. You can see the walls a little bit more easily. Can't be that. So this creates orphan cells, so this must be it. And now I've broken the puzzle. No, I haven't. This is the only way to the end, right? Oops, excuse me. This N shape now. Let's make it this shape. This N shape can't move down. Yeah, because if it moves down, it creates an orphan cell in here, or it touches, and we have 2 pentominoes. So that's that. It can't move to the right, because if it moves to the right, now we need to make the shape either this, and now we got a lot of problems, or we have to do this, which is other problems. So this is the shape. I like this so far. This is good. Now I got to figure out the rest of these, right? I can't go that way. We can't bring this up. If I bring this shape up, if I move it left, it would have to go that way. If I move it right, it would be there. So we have to do this, which means no matter what, this is taken. So we can't go to the right here. We can go here. We can also go all the way over there. We don't really... no, hold on. We can't make an orphan cell. So I can't go all this way, so I have to go at least that way, which means you also can't go up here. So this is the corner. This can't move down, because if this moves down now, it has to move down another space, because it can't move like this. Therefore, we go out this way and up. This feels like a really good way to do things, but this could also be a good way to do things? I don't know. No, this doesn't work. The reason this doesn't work, no matter what we have here, we have a shape in here that's got to be 3. That's as much as that can be, which means this has to be at least 4, and it can't be a 5, so it's a 4 and... Oops. So, there. That's got to be that. We got to fill that in. This shape has to be a 3 or a 4. I'm not totally sure. That's done. This can't move up or down, so it's got to go across. So far, this all looks good. I've got space to work with. This can't move all the way up. This feels like the safest thing to do with the T-shape. I could also do that. No, I can't do that. I can't touch that piece. Silly, silly. I can't move to the right, so I can't do that. I can't move all the way. I think this is the only way to make this shape now. This one here can't be that as orphan cells galore. How would I make this one, though? If I did this. Maybe that's not right. That just feels like that's the only shape I can do, but there might be one I just can't see. What else could I do here? What is this F shape? This is a potential F shape. Actually, that just leaves an orphan thing there. It'd be a lot easier if I didn't have to follow the rules. Okay. No, I'd need to go that way. This leaves orphan cells. That touches. Think about it this way. If I put a wall here, what do I do? That. And then what do I do here? Die. There's nothing I could do in this one. Because then I'd have to block that. There's nowhere to go. So this has to be here. I can't go that way. Can it be this way? No, I already worked that out. It can't be that way. Can it be this way? No. It leaves an orphan cell. This doesn't work. This doesn't work. Can't go up that far. If I go up here, I can't move up again. I would have to be done. This wouldn't work. It would have to be that. Yeah, this is the only thing that would work. And then how do I make this one work? So I think if I go this way, what if I couldn't do this. This doesn't work because of that. And the thing is about this section here, I don't understand it, but I know that it doesn't affect any of this, right? The only thing it could potentially affect is this T shape could go up here and touch that if there's another way to get this piece in. But I'm going to ignore this for a second. If the T shape could go up here, what could the F shape do? What could it do? It's going to be a problem. Yes, that doesn't work anyway. So what? Man, I'm not getting this one. This is right, but then this piece doesn't fit. Right? That doesn't... Oh, there it is. Duh. That's it. God damn it. Okay, that's it. All these pieces are now in, and I just got to fill in the rest without breaking this puzzle. So we start with that. That 4 has to be the case. Then here has to be a 3, because it can't be a 4, and if it's a 5, it's going to touch 5s. So we got to do that. This space here has to be 4, because it's got to be at least 3. Can't be 5, and then we can't leave an orphan cell. So we got a 4 in there. This space has to now be a 3, because it has to be. This space now has to be 4. The way to do that is to come around this way, so we can leave a 3 down here. This space here has to be 3. Now, this space here has to be 3 or 4. Don't know which one. 3 or 4. 3 or 4. Let me find an easier thing to do. 3 or 4. This is 3. That's done. This is 3 or 4. This can't be 3 because then that's 3. This has to be 4. So then this could be 3 safely. This right here has to be at least 3, but it could be 4. No, it can't be 4. It's touching a 4. This is a 3. This right here has to be a 4 because it's touching 3 and 5. Gotta touch that. It's gotta touch one more. If I take this space now, I have 6 spaces in here, which would make 2 3s. So no, that's the spot. This can be a 3 or a 4. Still, we don't know which one. This has to be 3 because it's touching those. Now, if I were to do this, now I have to fill in 5 spaces. That would be a pentomino. So I have to move this up like so. And we have to have a wonderful 4-piece. This has to be a 4-piece as well. That means this is 3. This is 4. So far, so good. Yeah, baby. This is be 3 or 4. This has to be 3, because if this is a 4, this is now a 3 right there. There we go. That's it. So that is 3. This is, look at the color, it's not in this spot. There you go. And then we have a 3 and a 4. Which one's better? 4. Oh, this 4 is touching here, so this is 3, and that's 4. Fantastic work, guys. That's great. I love that one. It's just a weakness of mine that you can't get over, is sometimes it's just hard for me to see every possible arrangement of a shape. It helps the more I have opportunities. Like, I've worked with enough F shapes that I at least have something to work with. But as the shapes get larger and I have less experience with them, we just end up with puzzles where the only solution is to guess, because I can't just mentally put those together. But that one ended up fine because at least, I know F shapes enough to do it. Now here's the big one. Let's see how long this one takes. I've already been recording for quite a while. Hopefully this doesn't end up being an hour long, but we'll see. Alrighty, shape bank. Like, okay, so I see shape bank. That's usually an easy rule. So I'm like, how is this going to be crazy hard? But we'll see. 2, 3, 3, 4. So all of these have 9 in them. We have to make a bunch of sets of 9. So I'm going to start right here. We have to have at least 2 there. So we have 7 left over. If we were to say this is a domino, we'd have to have a 3 and a 4. That's the only way to make 7. We'd have to do 3 and 4. Well, we'd have to do 3 and 4, right? That's how we'd have to do that. Maybe? So if I said this was a 3, this would be a problem? Is there any way this is not where the L goes? Can I do anything different? So if I say I make this a 2. Yeah, there's multiple ways to do this. I can make this a domino, and then here would have to be, well, it can't size separation, but also shape bank. Like, we can't make a domino here. We'd have to make at least 3. If we make it this way, this space now doesn't have a shape that fits into it. Every single one of these is going to have 3 shapes in it. We can't do it with 2 because we'd have to have 4 and 5. So the largest is 4. The smallest is 2. Theoretically, 4 shapes could fit in, but that'd be 2, 2, 2, 3, and they would touch. So all of these have 3 shapes in them. 3 of these 4 per area. Let's think of it that way. So this could be domino, elbow, L shape. This could be straightaway. Then this would be, can't be an L shape because of size separation. It has to be domino, or sorry, it can't be an elbow. It has to be an L shape and a domino, or a domino and an L shape. If this is an L shape, we would have a domino. Okay, so we have a lot of options here. I just know that these 2 can't be separated. These 2 have to be. These 2 have to be. These 2. Here, I'm going to separate. Hold on. There, 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 there. These are the 3 shapes. Got the 3 shapes in that one. There. One of these 2's got to go in. That's for sure. Hold on a second. Yeah, one of them goes in and the other makes a big L shape. Let's come back to this in a second. Gotta have that. This one is wide open. This has to be these 3. Actually, yeah, this is just given. So back up here in this yellow space. I can't block both of these. One of them's got to move in. Whichever one moves in makes this shape, so it's done. The other piece can't be an elbow because of size separation, so it would have to be this. In fact, every piece... hold on. Every single shape... discovery. So we have domino. I'm just going to call it the 2. We have the elbow. I'm just going to call... What should I call that? I don't know. We'll call it 3L. Then we have the 3I. And then we have the 4L. Every single one of these is going to have the 2, and the 4L. And here's why. Because if it doesn't, there's 3 shapes in every single one. It would have both the 3L and the 3I. Is there a way to make a 3L and a 3I without them touching each other? The answer is no. Anywhere I put a 3I, the 3L will touch. Size separation says you can't do that. Therefore, these two must be in every single one. Meaning, there's going to be a 3I in here, meaning we don't have a 3L. We have a 3I, then we have an L and a domino, like this, or like that. Here, let me use my... Yeah, let's do this. So that means this right here is part of a domino. Because this is option 1. This is option 2. Great. If this is a domino, now this piece cannot be a domino. It's got to extend. So this is either an elbow or it's an L shape. If this is an elbow, right? This cannot be a 3L. Or this could be a domino though, right? We could do that. We could also do this. We could also do this. Don't know for sure yet. Don't know for sure. I just know this has to at least go out this far. If this is a domino, we can't have one here. We already know in this orange space, we've got something going on. This piece here could be a domino. It could be an elbow, and that's it. This could be a domino or an elbow. This could be a domino, elbow, or L shape. This could be domino, L. That can't be the elbow. Yeah, this piece can't move here. Because then what shape does it make? That's that. This could be domino, this could be this, it could be that. This is all fine. Okay. Oh, how about let's look in the center area. This has to move out. This has to move out. Ah, this has to be a domino. No, it could be an L shape. But these could be the same shape. If they weren't the same shape, if these were 2 different shapes, this would be a domino, then this piece would have to be an elbow. And then that's your L. Does that tell me anything? If this is your L... Well, how would I fill this shape in? I need a domino and an L shape. Hold on, this is your 3, so you can't have a 3L in here because it's going to touch. So you have to have a domino and an L shape. The L shape, therefore, is here, here, here. Hold on, this way, this way. Oh, there's... That means an L... There can't be an L shape going this way. That doesn't really help me. Dang. I wonder if there's a trick to this that I haven't found yet. Like, this is more promising in these corners because they're more filled in. This can't be that. This is either 2 or 4. What goes in this spot? Could be that. A 4 here would force this to be like so, right? Now, if we said instead we had a 2, we would force a 4 there, which gives me a lot of options. That's fine. Either that... These two go together. This piece is a new piece. Actually, this goes together. This has to be here. So the question is, do we take both of these, both of those, or both that way? Damn. Well, either this is a domino or it's an L, and either this is a domino or it's an L. Okay. That doesn't help. This place is either part of this L or it's part of an elbow. This one here's got to move out this way. If we move this out... Could I move this way? Yes. I can't do that. This can be here. This can't... All I know is that. Okay. I will get there. I will figure this out. This one's tricky. So here is domino. there anything I can gather? If the domino goes here, we're fine, because these pieces could never be the domino there. We already know this isn't the domino. What would do, this would be constricting if I bring the L down this way, because now this couldn't be an L. Therefore, this piece would have to just be a straightaway 3, which isn't a problem. If I make it this way, now this isn't an L, and this is complete. We either have this or that. Hold on. Every version of this. That's one version. That's the L shape. This is the L shape. This is the L shape. There's always 4L right there. Every version has that. So this can't be a 4L. Doesn't really say a lot. This can't be a 3L or a 3I or a 3L. This has to be 2 or 4. That might be something. This is 2 or 4. Gotcha. That's going to put quite a constriction. If I do, oops, hold on. Let's go back. If I do this, this is a 2. This would have to be a 4, but it couldn't move up. It would have to go somewhere else, which isn't like the end of the world, but it's a constriction. Whereas if I do this, this now has to be a 2. Those are the options, because it's next to a 2 or a 4 here. This isn't a 3. So these are opposite of each other. This is domino L or L domino. If I made this go as a 3, right? If I did something like this, I would have to make this the L shape, because this couldn't be the 3. This have to be like that. Yeah, this is quite constricting, because I'd have to do this, and now this piece can't move out. So this piece would have to move out. And then we couldn't do this. We'd have to make it like... Yeah, there it is. There it is. Okay, let me back up through that and make sure I got that logic right. I don't think this can be a 3. This piece, this can't be a 3. It's either the 4 or it's a 2. The reason is, if this is a 3, right? Now this would have to be the 4L. That's fine. We can't do that. It's 3 3s. If this is a 3, we have this going on. Now this can't be a 3. We can't do this. Therefore, this has to come down. Cool. So far, so good. Now what goes in this spot? This spot has to be a 4. In fact, I could probably figure that out from just this. It's either here or there. This spot is a 4L, meaning this has to be a 3. That's what we got to do. That's it. We have to do this. This one is now complete. I think this is the only way. And I really hope so, because if it's not, we're going to have to start all over if I mess this up. Therefore, this is a 2 or a 4. Oops. 2 4. Meaning this 2 4 2 4, this middle piece now has to be the 3 elbow. Meaning this piece can't bend to the right. Because if it bends to the right, we now have a 3, an elbow, a 3. Because we can't have a 4, it's going to cause a problem. So we got to do that. This is a 4L of some kind, which means that this can't go. This could go here just fine. This can go here just fine, or there. This already doesn't have a problem. Yeah. Cool. Do I know any more from that? Don't know if I know any more from that, but at least I've got that. This spot... Can this be a 3? Yeah, we have a lot of... Oh, hold on. This can't be a 3 because of size separation. So this is 2 or 4. Right? This has to stop here. Go like that. Because if it's a 3, if it's a straight line, it's going to clash with this 3. Even though this is fine. It's just going to clash with that. But it can do this. This was a 2 or 4 as well. Hold on. So the 2 and the 4 are in these spots, meaning this is the 3. So the thing is, this 3 is going to be 3L. Doesn't really care. It doesn't really matter. So then this is the final piece. So do we go this way? Or do we go this way? No, we can't go this way. This is a 3. This is that. We know that. So we actually do have to fill this in, like so. This has to be it. All right, 2, 4, 3. This is 3. Just make sure I'm going to mark everything I've got. So that means this can't be a 2. This has to extend at least 1 space. Now it could go here or it could just be a 3. No, it's touching that 3. So now we have a 4 there. This, one of these two moves in, but we're not totally sure. So 4. This just can't be a 4. We just have, okay. This can't be a 3 now. Oh, it can't be a 4. This has to be a domino. Right here is a domino. Because if it's a 3, obviously it's touching one. If it's a 4, it's going to extend out and touch the 4. So we have domino here. This piece now has to be 3. This has to be. And it can be this way. No, it can't. If it's a 3 this way, we have this as a 4. So this is our 3. That's our 4. This now has to be a 3 because it's touching a 4 and a 2. Now it could go... this can't be a 3 now. This has to be a 2. Then we have to go this way. See what I mean? I think we're onto something, and gosh, I hope we are, because this will be really hard to start over. So this is a 3, and it could be this way. This corner now needs to be a 2 because it's touching a 3 and a 4. So we gotta have a 2 here. It's got to be this way, because if it's like this, then what goes here? Because everything has a 2, 3, and a 4 in it. So this doesn't work. We have to go this way, and then we have to go this way so we can get the 4 in. And this all works. So 4, 3, 2, 2, 3, 4. Now let's talk about these sides. What are we going to do? This actually has to be a 2 now, so this is the 4. So we know this is the 4. Oops, yeah, 4, 3, 3. Okay, good. Gotta bring that out, so gotta fit something in here. I know this 4, this 4 now is going to, it can't move up because it's going to touch the 4, so it's got to go this way. But it can't touch all of these squares. The reason is, how am I going to fit so there's neither of these are a 4? At least one of these squares has to be a 4, right? So I can't do this because we have a problem. There's nothing I can do. Therefore, this is the 4, this is the 2, that's the 3. 2, 3. 3. Now I have to make sure that the 2 is up here, right? No, the 4 is there. I just can't have a 4 here. So this is the 2, but the 2 can't go across because then I have a 4. You know what? Doesn't matter. You'll see. So this has to be 2, 4. And now I think I can finish off the puzzle in this corner. I really hope so, because otherwise we're screwed. So this right here could be 3. Yes, 3, 4, 2. Here's how it's going to go. Here's how it's going to go down, my friends. Boom! T-posing. T-posing right now. Oh, that was good. That was an interesting puzzle, and that, like, the beginning of it was really about... See, I said earlier, in this video, I don't remember when I said it, but I like it when there's, like, a trick to the puzzle. You have to discover some piece of knowledge you have to work out. That is what is more fun to do, is to work that kind of stuff out at the beginning. So it didn't feel like this was tedious. Like, this puzzle didn't take that long anyway, but, like, I was willing to for this puzzle to go on for another half an hour. I wouldn't have minded if it was long. It was just... I had to have something to work with, and I was able to work with it. It made this really, really fun. This one right here, top tier puzzle. All right. That was a good day. I'm happy to have had a good session. And next time we'll head back to some areas that might not be so good. We'll see about it. In the meantime, thanks for watching. I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.